Hello, 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 everyone. It is Teresa from Teresa's Silhouette Spot for all things art, where I love sharing art from my heart and teaching creators and crafters how to paint for fun and profit. Hi, everyone. Welcome to December's PIY Paint It Yourself of the month. How is everyone? I'm wearing my I Hate Freaking Winter shirt. I'm wearing my snow flake earrings. But then, of course, I'm wearing my palm tree necklace that I love, and hopefully it's keeping me warm. How is everyone? How is the weather by you? I cannot believe the breadth of this storm and how big it was and how much it took over across the entire country. This is a big country, y'all. If we were Europe, we would be all different countries. This is a big country, y'all, and I cannot believe how cold it was in places that have like never seen the cold. So we are painting a fun snowman for New Year's Eve. I know at the beginning of the month I put up some other ideas, but then I came across this one and I figured it's after Christmas and it was New Year's Eve. So this is the one that we would be painting, okay? So let me guys get you turned around. You guys have a supply list and a tracer, and I am going to get started. When you hop on, let me know where you're watching from. Okay, I have my 11 by 14 canvas. I have laid down my graphite paper, shiny side down, and now I have put my tracer on here. Now this tracer has lots going on. You do not have to trace everything. I trace the main elements. I'm not going to go in here and trace in every line and dot. Okay, his hat comes off the page here somehow. And I'm just going in. I'm going to put in my nose. A lot of times when I put in these little bit of elements and the details, I'm not even going to add in the eyelash. I'm just putting in the eyes. I'm going to put in just markers for the mouth. I'm not going to make them circles. I'm going to put in the outside of the bow. Oops, went over there a little bit. That's okay. We'll paint right over that. I think this is his arm here. Yes, his arm, his cuff, the tails on the bow, his mitten for one hand. And so these buttons I'm putting in, but I'm putting them in smaller because when you have these little elements, and if you don't like them to begin with and you're trying to enhance them somewhat, you're going to start trying to fix them. And what happens is as you fix them, they grow because you're like, oh, let me add a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit here and a little bit there. And before you know it, they're giant. So when I put in little elements like eyes, noses, buttons, stuff like that, I tend to trace them in a little bit smaller. This way, if they grow, they won't be obnoxiously large. They might be a little bigger than you wanted, but they'll be okay. So then the bottle. I'll put these here for the bottle. I'm going to put the label on the bottle. I'm not going to put any lettering on the bottle because I probably won't even write cheers on the bottle. So I'm just making sure, oh, forgot his body. So I lift it up, I hinge it, and then let's put a little bit of the snow on the bottom. So I will just lift it up like this. I will hinge it, make sure I have everything, and then we're good to go. Okay? So let's put this aside. So I'm going to have out my patina, my hot pink, fuchsia pink, bubblegum pink, whatever pink you want. A nice orange for his nose, black and white, of course. I have some white here. Where is my patina? You can use a teal. You can use any color that you want. For his hat and his scarf and his mittens, that's totally up to you. And I'm just going to get a little bit of dark blue. And then I'm going to get out some, this is a yellow ochre in Deco Art. I like to put this color underneath my gold, and I'm going to use a little bit of metallic gold for my champagne. Okay? Don't need this anymore. This was from today's class. And behind me, if you could see right here, let's pull it over a little bit. Last week, for the 12 Days of Christmas, I did this other very simple glass. And that's another cheers. It could be used for Christmas Eve. It could be used for a party. It could be used for New Year's Eve. Whatever you want. Totally up to you. Okay, I'm just getting comfy here, you guys. You know me. So I'm putting out some black because the background of this is going to be black. And I will get started. This one's a little too big. This one's too little for what I want right now. That one's too big. I'm going to get this one. Okay. You guys, let me show you something. I have a new water cup. This is called the Paint Puck. It's only the second time I'm using it. And I think I like it. It has these spots here to get the water off your brush. And then it has these holders here to hold your brush. Now this is a tube. The top comes off like that, and the bottom comes off for cleaning. I can't take the bottom off. The water will just pour out because, like I said, this is not an actual glass. It is a tube because on the bottom piece of plastic is how you clean your brush on those little things that stick up. Let me show you. There they are in there. This is called a Paint Puck. It's only the second time I'm using it. I just got it for Christmas, so we shall see. So far, so good. Okay, so I got out a little bit of black, and I'm going to start going in and outlining and doing my black background. Okay. There might be times when I need a smaller brush to get around some details, and then I will just get my smaller brush out. But for now, I think this one is going to work for me. And, I mean, we want to get into all the nooks and crannies, but if it's not perfect, don't fret, because when we're done and at the end of our project, we're going to add in some dots for some snow and some really cool snowflakes and some swirls and stuff. So if your black background was not 100%, don't worry about it. Okay? Okay, I think when I traced my glasses and my bottle was a little wonky. So I think now the way I base coated it in is a lot better. So let me see. So I'm just going in and I work in sections. This is a very easy background. There's nothing fancy to it right now. When it is totally drying, we're done with our picture. We're going to go back in and add in, like I said, some dots and some snowflakes and some fun little elements. But for now, we're just going around. If you were so inclined, you can start out with a black canvas. Yes, they do have black canvases. And then you would get a white graphite paper to trace your tracer onto here with. And you could skip this step. but most people don't have black canvas. Sometimes we're just painting on whatever we have on hand because this is fun painting and we want to be here and have a good time and paint with one another. And so sometimes we're just using whatever we have, Bristol board or a sketch pad or another canvas from something. And so if you were wanting to get all set up for this and get supplies and the paint and whatnot, then go right ahead and get a black canvas. But if you're just painting with what you have on hand, then it's totally fine to paint around your design and paint in the canvas first. So down here I might need a little bit of a smaller brush. That is Snowman in there. I don't ever paint on a easel. I like to flip my project around, and I will do that often. You'll see me always like flip-flopping, twisting and turning my project every which way to make my strokes the easiest I can. If you're not, if you're watching me someplace else and not in the group, the name of my group is Teresa's Spot for Step-by-Step Acrylic Art. And I do a paint it yourself in here once a month. There is a number of guides. We're probably up to like 15 now or 16 guides. I really don't remember. Of painting tutorials for all different seasons and many different levels. All my painting kits and these tutorials come with a supply list, a tracer. My kits come pre-traced, and then you either have step-by-step instructions or a video, sometimes both. It just depends on what I have available for that particular painting. Now you can do your edges if you want. You don't have to. I'm going to put that brush down. I'm going to get my smaller brush so I can get in these little nooks and crannies. That's hand. Oh, here, okay, up here around the bottle and the cups. And none of this has to be perfect, you guys. You'll see as we add in, if your lines aren't perfect, it's fine because we're going to go back in. We put in our elements after we do our background. So if we have stuff that's a little wonky, we can fix it. And it's all good. If you get a little something where you didn't want it, a little black paint where you didn't want it, it's totally okay. Because you could just be like, oh, oopsie. And then you wait for it to dry. And you can go back in and fix anything. So I'm putting in a little bit on the top of my glasses because, as you know, if your glass is not filled to the brim, it is glass and you can see through to the other side. So our glass will have part hard cider, apple cider, champagne, whatever you choose. And then the top of it would be then glass and you can see through to the background. And I think that is it. Now you could go in and paint the sides of your canvas if you want. I'm not going to now. I might later, we'll see. I might end up painting the sides of my canvas totally different color later. I don't know, we'll see. So that's how we're gonna start out. So I have my background in, and I'm gonna get out a little bit of white and I'm gonna paint in my snowman. Use the smaller brush that I was just using. I'm going to wipe off the water and then give it a little squeeze still on my paper towel. Okay. And we're going to do it the same way. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to outline or block out what needs to be white. And then I'm going to come in here. Now, there are people who would possibly leave the white canvas white and not bother painting it in for the snowman. I don't like to do that. I like to paint in whatever's white for my snowman. In painting white, you'll still be able to see your lines. So if you have your tracer on there, unless you're painting with black, most of the time you'll be able to see your lines through the paint. And don't worry, because they're going to get painted over anyway, so it's not like you're going to just see pencil marks. It's going to get paint at some, oh, got too much gray in there. It's going to get painted over, so it's not going to be pencil marks. Okay, then we have a little piece in here between the scarf and the arm. And then we have our snowman here. I'm going to do the arms as well, but I'm going to do the arms with a little bit of blue shading so they stand out a little bit from the rest of the snowman. And I'm also going to do the bottom snow with that too. Just a little bit. That's why I went around the arms. Okay. And then for his face, I'm going to paint right over his carrot nose for two reasons. First of all, orange paint tends to be very translucent. So I don't really have to be careful to go around it. So because the orange paint is translucent, and this way I don't have to be cutting in and out of the nose, I'm just painting right over. And now I can still see my pencil marks where I dotted in the mouth, where I put in the eyes, and his nose. Okay? Okay. Now I'm going to get out a little bit of my favorite color, my patina. And you can use, hey Angie, hi honey, how are you? You can use any color you want for his hat and his scarf. You can even use any light blue that you want. I'm just picking up a tiny, tiny bit. And I'm going to mix it over here with my white. And I'm not even mixing it in totally blended. And I'm just adding it in here, and this is what I'm going to paint in his arms with. Just so you can tell the difference between arm and body. And a lot of times when we paint snow or you see snow, you don't even realize when you're seeing snow painted in on, I'm not liking this brush because I didn't clean out the black good. When you see snow painted in a picture or on a card or something, you don't even realize the snow has a lot of blue in it. It looks white because it's supposed to be white, and we look at snow as being white, but it's weird because it has these blue highlights to it that you don't even realize. And you guys probably can't even see them up there now, but I can see the littlest hint of the blue that I mixed with my white. And it's just having a little bit of contrast with the rest of the snowman. And that's fine. And we're just having him in here on some little uneven ground here. And you can make it as darker blue or as lighter blue as you want. It's totally up to you. I am going to do down here because I won't do anything down here because I don't want to mess up and have anything come into my white. So I'm just going to do this edge of my canvas real quick. Okay, and see I have some splatter on there? We're not going to worry about that at all because you guys will see when we get done how we're going to work that out. So I'm not going to get worried about it. Oh, I splattered on my black. Nope, nope, nope. All right. I just want to get out a little bit of a darker blue. This is, I think, a Deco Art True Blue. Okay. And I'm going to do my hat. I'm going to come in here and base coat in my hat. And this is the part where I was saying before that you can do your hat and your scarf whatever color you want. I'm doing it in this really fun patina color. It's like a cross between like an aqua and a teal and a mint green almost. It's been my color for like 2 years now. So we'll see how long it's going to last being my color until another color replaces it. But so far, it's like my favorite color. So I use it as often as I can. And this is again why I said it didn't matter how neat we were or how messy we were with our outline, because we're going to come in here, and if our outline wasn't perfect, we're fixing it all now when we do the details to our hat. Okay, so I have my hat, and I'm going to do my mittens in here. Because one mitten is holding up the tray, the serving tray. And the other mitten just comes across his chest, right here. Our paintings go through stages. So this one, right now we're just doing all the base coat. We're color blocking, we're filling in the colors where we need them, we're doing our base coat, we're putting in our big giant elements. Then we're going to go in and we'll fit in and add in all of our details. And as we add in our details, that's when you'll see your painting really starts to come to life and get some personality. Now I'm using this dark blue and my patina. These are just the cuffs of his mittens, and I mixed it in together so I have a little bit of not really dark blue, but a little bit of a lighter color in there. Okay, and now I'm going to wash my brush. And I'm just going to mix a little bit. I'm going to get some white, I'm going to move it over here, and a very little corner of black. Just a tiny corner of black, because I want to base coat in my tray. And there is a reason why I do the background first, why I chose to do the mittens first, because this way when I go in here and I add in the tray, if my mittens were a little wonky, I just fix that with a nice straight line here for my tray. And the same thing with my glasses. Then my glasses will be after the tray, and if I messed up my glasses a little bit when I put in my tray, then that is the time to fix the glasses. So there is a reason why I do things in a certain order. Okay? Okay, now I got a nice straight line there for my tray. So let me turn you guys around 1 second. So we're almost finished base coating everything in. We did our background black. We did our snowman white, and then I added a little bit of that patina when I did it in his arms. Then I used my patina and I painted in his hat and his gloves. I added a little bit of dark blue and did the cuffs for his mittens or his gloves, whatever you want to call them. Okay? And we go back. Okay. Now I have this really fun royal fuchsia pink. And again, you can use the same blue that we used for the mittens. You can make this green. Any colors you want. You want to change it up? Totally change it up. I'm using this fuchsia, and I'm going in here and I'm going to base coat in the bow. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? I'm going to base coat in the bow. I'm going to add a little bit of the detail to his hat, and then you're going to see how this painting is just going to start to come to life. The middle part, and I'm using about a 1/4 inch wide brush. You can use whichever brush you're comfortable with. When I did the background, I used a 1/2 inch flat brush. Now I'm using about a 1/4 inch. I could use the 1/2 inch one again, but it's all about what you're comfortable with and what you like and what is your favorite brush. Sometimes I use like a brush that somebody else would be like, why are you using that brush? Because it's my favorite brush. That's why. So it really depends. I mean, you're not going to use a little liner brush to paint this whole entire thing, because that would just give you too many brush strokes and take way too long. But of course I have favorite liner brushes. Okay, now I'm just going to add in the tails to the bow. And I'm doing these in different steps because I want my brush strokes to go the way of the elements. Okay? So when I did the bow, my brush strokes went in and out horizontally. And now when I do the tail part, my brush strokes are going up and a curve into the top of the tail. And the same thing here. I gotta get my brush. If your brush starts to get like all wonky and it's not making a fine line, you just want to take it, you want to work it out a little bit on your plate like this, and so you get a nice fine line on it again. Sometimes we get too much paint buildup and you have to take it and wipe it off on paper towel. You don't have to wash it, but you do have to wipe it out. It just starts getting all glompy and whatnot, so you want to watch out for that. And you'll see, because you'll have your lines will be going astray. You'll be thinking you're painting a straight line and it's got stuff sticking out everywhere. So again, now I'm painting these tails. I want my brush strokes to curve with the way that we feel like our ribbon is flowing. So these I pull down. This I want to fix a little bit here because that was when I noticed my brush was going a little wonky. So I just made that a little bit wider there. And then these strokes, I went out and out and out and out. And then in the middle, I just went circle. Okay. And we're going to do the stripe on our hat. Sometimes I have to concentrate, you guys, sorry. So if you don't hear me talking, that's why, because I'm concentrating. Okay, now I want a little purple. I'm going to paint my bottles purple, okay? So I'm going to mix a little bit, you know what, I'm just going to take a little bit of pink over here, and I'm going to mix it in to my blues that I had here. My hot pink and my blues, and I'm going to get like a little bit of a purple color in here, okay? And I'm going to paint my bottle. When we paint our bottle, we want to have a little bit curved on the bottom. I could go over my label if I wanted to. If I end up going over my label, that's totally okay. But right now I'm going to try and avoid it. Can you guys see? Yes, you can see. Okay, so now we have our champagne bottle. This is going to need a little bit extra here because that was the part where I didn't like the way I drew it in, and so I had to go over it. So it has the black underneath it. It's going to need a few coats to fix that. But we're okay. It's all good. Okay? All right, let me wash that out. I'm going to go to my liner brush. I'm going to get a nice coat of white, and I'm going to use my liner brush in here to put in my glasses. Down this side, and I'm just using the white, and I'm tracing in my glasses, and I'm filling in this top part so we can see that it's a glass. Okay? Okay, I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. So now that we have that, I am gonna go on to my carrot nose and get a little orange paint. Here we go. And I've already painted the base coat white, and that should help my orange be not as translucent as usual. Got a little bit of stuff in there, and I'm just gonna go in here. Yeah, that's so much better. And as I paint my nose, I'm gonna paint my nose in a bunch of C's. So I painted the first C, and I'm painting my nose in segments by painting in little C strokes, and they get smaller and narrower till I get to the point. You could go and fill the whole thing in with orange if you want. I like the idea of putting in these C strokes because it gives your nose a little bit of carrot character right there. Okay? Now we're going to get our black again. I'm going to start with our buttons. There's 1, 2. We're going to put in our eyes, and you can put in whatever kind of eyes that you want. Sometimes putting in these little sleepy eyes is like the easiest thing to do. A little bit of eyelash at the back, and it's just me. I'm lightly touching my liner brush to the corner, and I'm just lightly pulling out 3 little strokes to get in those eyebrows. I mean the eyelashes. Then I'm going to use the back of my brush, and I'm going to start 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to start with the bigger one in the middle, and then I'm going to work my way out with the dots. And when you use the back of the brush, your dots automatically get smaller as you run out of paint. I'm going to go in. I'm just going to start adding in a little bit of outline. These outlining and these shadings just really start to bring everything together. Okay. We're going to do our bow. And there's several steps to this, so adding this black right here is not the be-all end-all of our bow. And see, just adding those 2 little extra lines down there totally makes our bow look 3-dimensional now. If your bow wasn't real pointy when you painted it, when you add in this liner, it'll look nice and pointy. And this is a fun one for a group, getting together, celebration, and you can make it whatever colors you want. When I do the cuffs, I like to make it a little bit of a curvy line, so it almost looks like it's fluffy and not like a whole complete round line like I did for the bow. Okay. I'm going to fix this line a little bit here. On this a little bit there. It's so cute so far. Okay. I'm going to mix up a little bit more gray because I want to do my label in a little bit of a gray. And it's even good, like if you're wanting to make a new color, it's okay if you don't over mix it or over blend it, because that just adds a little bit more detail and character to whatever it is you're painting. If it's not just one total solid color, you have built in shading and highlighting by not over blending. Okay, so I did my label and I added my bottle cap, my cork, whatever it is that you want to call it, whatever it is you're having. I'm just putting out a little bit of this yellow because, like I said, this yellow is going to be the base coat in my glass for my champagne. Like reds and yellows and oranges, metallics tend to be quite translucent too. So when I'm using metallic paint, I will base coat with a different color. If I'm using silver, I'll do gray. If I'm using like a bronze, I'll use like a rust color. If I'm using gold, I will use yellow. Okay. All right. Looking good, you guys. Looking good. Now I'm going to start adding a little bit of detail to my glasses. And this is all just supposed to be fun. It's like party time, celebration time. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit of shading and highlighting to my gloves. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to add a little bit of detail to my hat. Okay. Going to fix up the edges of my bottle with this pink color now. And I'm doing all of this with this little liner brush. Add a couple of stripes up in here. Pick up some white. There we go. Now I'm going to go back. I need my patina again. I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the same thing with my patina down my scarf or my bow. Okay. Making that a little fluffy. I'm going to add a little bit of the blue to our glasses. And our label. Our bottle top. There's my brush. I'm going to go back in here to that little bit of that darker gray I had here before and put a little bit of, do I have enough? Let me see. Shadow under, nope, gotta make some more. So let me get my white, a little bit of black. I'm going to add some shadow on our tray just to under where our bottle is. And the same thing for under each of our glasses. Okay. I'm going to go into my white. I'm going to turn my plate, make sure it's nice and fresh. And I'm going to add in a little bit of detail to our tray. Complete that. And then everywhere where I added in the detail before with the blue or the pink, now I'm going to go in and I'm going to add in the white. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can go over it. It can go next to it. It's just a fun little detail that we're adding in to our elements. When you start adding in these white details, it breaks up the harshness a little bit. Need more white. It starts adding some highlighting in there. You still want to see the pink or the blue that we added first, but now it's nice to see some highlight. Add a nice bright highlight to the middle of my bow. Went in there, put some blue in there too. I want to take a little bit of black and just outline a little bit of my nose. I'm using the very corner of my liner brush to do this. It's nice and flat, and I'm just gently, I don't want it to be too overpowering, but I do want to be able to see it. There we go. And go back to my quarter brush. Dry it off a little bit. Put a little bit, I guess this one in here. It's a little bit. I just want to have a little swoosh under my, around my snowman, and a little bit in my snow. Tiny bit. Almost, my brush is practically dry. I'm just using the edge of it, and it's dry brushing and just adding a little bit of hill in there, just to get a little, let me see, where can we, there it is, detail. And the same thing to his arms. Put a little bit up in here. There we go. Now I want to get back to the most important thing. We're going to start working in some details on our glasses. I'm going to turn it upside down for this. Okay. So I want to give a little bit of a liquid line here on both of our glasses. I'm going to give a little bit of an outline for our drink. Oh, you know what I forgot? I should have put the gold in first. That's okay. I'm going to add a little bit of black, and not complete black, broken black, around for our label. Add a little bit here. I'm going to put a heart. Let me see, this brush could work, right? I'm going to put a heart on the bottom of my bottle. Okay. Now, I'm not writing cheers on here. You know what I'm going to put? I know what I'll put. I'll put $2022, because I don't think there was any way I was going to be able to write cheers or champagne or New Year's Eve or anything on this label. So I'll just put the date on there. Okay. Put a little bit of black under here. A little black coming down. Then we need a little bit of white on our bottle. Glare on there. Okay. Looking good, looking good. Put a little glare on my glass. Oh wait, no, before I put glare on my glasses, can't forget the gold. I was almost forgetting the gold again. I'm probably gonna have to end up touching up my black, but that's okay. I didn't want to skip it. I can just go back in there and fix the black a little bit. I love this metallic paint. It has just like the perfect shimmer to it. So it's not glittery. I know there are people who just like love glitter. The more glitter the better. It's not real glittery, but it has a nice shine to it. And it works really well when you base coat underneath with a golden yellow. Okay, so there's my glasses. There's my little bit of gold. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit because then I do want to add some glare to that. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in and I'm just going to add in, I'm gonna fix that, some curlicues. Nothing fancy about it, right? Nothing fancy. Just a little bit of a curl once or twice around, and that is it. Okay, I'm going to clean my brush, and then I have to come up here. I have to fix some of this black a little bit that I must have put my arm in. So I'm fixing this part of the black, and then this part here where I smudged the hat. And that's it. Okay? And now I'm going to go in with the back of my brush, and I'm just going to put in some dots. And this is why I said it didn't matter that I splattered paint, because when we go in and we add these fun dots, and I'm going to add some fun snowflakes too, you're not even going to see it. A lot of times when I'm doing my one stroke, so I'm a certified one stroke decorative painter, when we're painting some florals, either in a basket or a bouquet or vase, whatever it is, if there's something that I don't love, something that I think could have done a little bit better on that, I just go back and add a leaf. That's it. Or another flower or something. That's why if you follow me and you listen to me, I got all kinds of tips and tricks. You guys look at me and you're like, oh, that's so nice, that's so cute. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. But there's stuff going on behind the scenes that you don't even know about. Okay? Little cute stuff like, uh-oh, didn't like that. Let's add another little curlicue. Or let's add a leaf. Or let's add another snowflake. Or whatever it is. You know, because it's not perfect to begin with. I'm loving these curlicues, and I'm loving patina. So, I'm going in and adding a few more with the patina color. What do you think of that? It's okay, you don't have to think anything about it. Sometimes I do know it's like, I should have said brushes down 10 minutes ago, but I could go in and add pink too if I wanted to and really start getting crazy, but I'm not gonna. Just a few more dots. And there we go. I think we have it. Oh, let me put a little bit of highlight on my buttons. And then a little bit of highlight on whatever, what's his charcoal mouth? There we go. And there and there, and then there we go. Put a little bit of glare across my glasses. And there you have it. Let me pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. There you go. Oh, isn't that just adorable? Adorable, adorable, adorable.